Let's imagine for a second that you're at a party and you're having a good time, you're having a drink, you're talking with your friends, you're maybe even talking to a guy you like. And then some time passes and a really pretty girl walks into the room. And she's not just pretty, she has the body, she knows how to dress, she's charismatic. Like everything about her just seems to attract everyone's attention. And you stop and you think you might start like being a little bit like ask yourself like, I wish I had her hair. If only I looked like her. If only I had those type of clothes because she looks just so good. I wish I had that body. And you start comparing yourself and you ask yourself the question, why and how can I be like her? And that is mistake number one. You are comparing yourself to her. If you want to be a high value woman, you have to focus on yourself because no one can do you better than yourself. The whole idea of being a high value woman has nothing to do with anything external because the moment you start seeking anything outside, you're giving power away from yourself. A high value woman is powerful because she meticulously works on herself, she works on her mindset, she works on her skills, and because she knows her self-worth, she knows what she wants in life, she knows herself, she's able to make choices that match her values and her goals. And because she knows herself and she puts herself at such a high regard, she's picky. She's picky with her time, she's picky with her energy, she's picky with who she spends time with. And because she is not so available, that's when, and nobody can get her, not everybody can get her attention, not all the guys that want her can get her, is the moment she's high value. Because what's high value? High value, let's use an example, is like a Birkin bag. A Birkin bag is, if you think about a Birkin bag compared to a Zara bag, you can have a bunch of Zara bags that try to copy and look as good as a Birkin. But what is the difference? Not everyone can get a Birkin bag. You can even have a lot of money, but you still can't get a Birkin bag because it is so limited. You literally not only need at least a couple $100,000 to buy a Birkin bag, you also need to be on a wait list. You need to be somebody. You need to buy a couple $100,000s in Hermes to be even considered in this wait list to get a Birkin bag. So the idea that it is so unattainable makes it high value. The same goes for being a high value woman. Not every person can get your attention and your time. Being a high value woman is embodying the highest version of yourself. It's being at your best physically, intellectually, mentally, emotionally, and also spiritually. And if you're not at the stage where you feel at your best, I just want to first tell you that you should be proud of yourself for even taking the steps towards learning it. The fact that you are watching this video right now means that you have the potential to become your better self because you're already interested in learning how to become better, how to improve and be the highest version of yourself. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 9 steps on how to rebrand and become the best high value woman that you can be. And before I continue, I'm gonna first introduce myself. My name is Celine, and for those of you who haven't watched my videos in the past, I run a 6-figure business for a all-female community to teach women how to become the highest version of themselves while becoming financially free. So I used to be an investment coach, and as I've also worked on my own journey to become the best version of myself, I stepped into that part where I want to help women know themselves, find their purpose, and become the best version of themselves. If you want to know more a little bit about what I do, I'm going to drop the link below in my description so you can learn more about how I've helped over hundreds of women become financially free. The first step to being a high value woman is having high self-awareness. It all starts there. You can't get anything else without having self-awareness first. So many women walk around going on autopilot and they don't know their why. They don't know the reasons behind their actions. They don't know why they attract certain partners in their lives because they haven't spent the time to get to know themselves. They didn't spend the time to sit with themselves and understand their traumas. Do you know where you're gonna be in 5, 10 years down the road? Do you know what are your non-negotiables in a relationship? Do you know what you love most about yourself and what you hate about yourself? Because if you don't know these questions, how can you even have the high standard? How can you set high standards for yourself if you don't know what you want and you don't know who you are? So how do you develop self-awareness and how do you get to know yourself? Through journaling, through shadow work, and through healing. So journaling is essentially writing down your thoughts. Because the moment you literally write your thoughts on a piece of paper and you look back, you understand the way you think. I start identifying specific patterns. Like if you write how your day is, at the end of the day for 1 month, I guarantee you will see your own weaknesses. You'll see how you might self-sabotage yourself. You might notice that you're always jealous and you're comparing yourself to other people. So writing down on a piece of paper and journaling your thoughts is the most powerful tool to get to know yourself and also developing self-awareness. High value woman, it doesn't mean that you don't have any flaws. It means that you've worked on accepting your flaws and you embrace them. Every one of us has insecurities. I have insecurities. I used to hate my voice. But the moment I sat down, I wrote down all the things that I'm insecure about, and I ask myself, why am I insecure about those things? That's when I learn to slowly accept my flaws and I embrace them. And how you're gonna do that is through shadow work. Asking yourself very uncomfortable questions that you normally try to avoid, sitting down with yourself, writing on a piece of paper those questions. So as an example, a shadow work journal prompt you can write is, what are you most insecure about? Ask yourself, what are the emotions that you tend to suppress? Are you always scared of feeling vulnerable? Is it because one of your parents in the past would shun you for showing your emotions? Shadow work is essentially trying to bring yourself back to when you're a child. Because when you were a child, you were a light of joy. Most kids, they were just themselves. They didn't need to compare themselves to other people, but through conditioning and through so many years of other kids bullying you or your parents are telling you who you should be, you end up suppressing certain parts of yourself, and through those years, you become who you are today. And when you've identified your weaknesses and your shadows, pour love into it. Become the parent that you wish you could have had as a kid. Validate your inner child. That's how healing works, and that's how you step into a version of yourself where you still have those flaws, but you accept them. You love every aspect of yourself. Once you become self-aware, you know who you are, you know what you want, and that is stepping into the second step of being a high-value woman, which is being highly intentional. You know what you want and you've set a goal. You spent the time to know who you are and the goals that you want to achieve. You know your dreams. And once you have a very clear goal in mind of where you want to go, you instantly become very intentional with how you spend your time. You're intentional with the energy that you give out to other people. You're picky. You end up planning your days around your goals, around your dreams. The third step to being a high value woman is having high standards. What are high standards? High standards protect you from low quality experiences. It's being selective with who you're surrounded by. And if only thing is you need to surround yourself with people who have qualities that you admire. Whether those are friendships, whether those are romantic partners, whether that is just your work colleagues, you don't want anyone to steal the precious time and energy that you have. Because what ends up happening is if you give away your limited resource, which is your time or energy, to someone who isn't where you want to be, who doesn't inspire you, who spends the weekends just watching Netflix, who gossips about other people, who complains, who just gives out this negative energy, they're going to be energy vampires, and they're going to steal the energy that you worked so hard on developing, that incredible energy that you've worked hard on. You already worked so hard on becoming the best version of yourself. You start going to the gym 4 times a week, you drink a lot of water, you sleep early, you look good, you feel good, your energy is just so high. You can allow yourself to have super high standards with who gets to be part of your life. You can have high standards for how people treat you. You gotta have very low tolerance to people who flake on you, who change plans last minute, guys who don't pick you up with their car, or they want to split 50-50, or they expect to sleep with you on the first night. No, 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 no. You gotta have extremely high standards, and you can demand it when you work on becoming the best version of yourself. Step number 4 of being a high value woman is having high maintenance. This is extremely important. You gotta be carrying yourself on a day-to-day, being the best version of yourself. The moment you step out of the door, you have to show up as the best version of yourself every single day. I don't care if you're running errands to the supermarket, or you're just going to the gym and quick session and you feel like, I'm just not gonna bump into anyone that I really care about. You never know. You might bump into your future husband, or you might bump into someone that can give you the best job opportunity ever. Once you have the mindset that you walk out of that room and you look good and you feel good about yourself, that's when you're already at such a high vibrational energy, because you feel good about yourself. You look good, you feel good. You brushed your hair in the morning. You have nice nails. You put on just a decent shirt to walk outside of the room. Because the moment you feel good about yourself, what ends up happening? You emit confidence, you emit good energy. So being a high maintenance woman, that means whether that is just having a nice clean manicure, or getting eyelash extensions so that when you walk out, you don't have to do a full set of makeup. That's like, you can be low maintenance but high maintenance at the same time. So just being high maintenance, brushing your hair, having good breath, smelling nice, having some nice clothes, some nice simple jewelry that just show that you put effort into yourself. Because what ends up happening when you always dress nice and you carry yourself? You indirectly tell other people that you have so much respect for yourself. And subconsciously, other people are gonna respect you because you have such a high regard and such a high care for yourself. The 5th step to being a high value woman is being obsessed with personal growth, having high emotional intelligence and high intelligence. You have to ask yourself, are you actually learning something new every day? Are you passionate about a specific topic? If you're not reading, if you're not constantly learning a new skill or a new topic, you have nothing interesting to offer. If you're spending all of your time after work watching Netflix for 3 to 4 hours a day, what do you know? You just know what happened to Tracy in Pretty Little Liars. You're not actually stimulating your mind. You're not actually passionate about a specific thing. Because what ends up happening, if you read a specific book about personal development, or you're reading a book about business, or you're reading a book even about art, you're stimulating your mind, you're learning, you're growing. And what ends up happening is, once you encounter and you meet someone, whether you're on a date or you're making a new friend, that person's instantly gonna be so interested in you because you have something to talk about. You are your own person and you are passionate about a specific thing. So being a high value woman is not just about the looks, it's not just about your energy, but it's also actually having some substance in your brain that you can share and teach other people and inspire other people. So read a lot of books, listen to podcasts when you're on your way to work. Whenever you have free time, try to meticulously work on just improving yourself in any single area of your life. Step number 6 of being a high value woman is becoming financially independent. You have your own money, because when you have your own money, you have the power to walk away from experiences that don't serve you. If you're in a toxic relationship and you're codependent, you're dependent on your boyfriend or your husband to pay your bills, the moment he doesn't act right, you are stuck. You're stuck. You can't move out of the apartment because you don't have your own money. If you want to treat yourself and go for a nice massage, or you want that dress, that really beautiful dress that makes you look super hot, you have to ask for a man's permission. And he's gonna be like, and he's gonna be controlling, and he's gonna be like, well, who are you dressing up for? Why are you dressing so sexy? Do you want to get other men's attention? If you're making your own money, you could do whatever the fuck you want. Next weekend, if you want to go with your girls on a girls trip, you want to go to Marbella, you want to sip a glass of sangria and have a good time, you don't need to ask for your man's permission. You can just go. If you want to look good, you don't need to ask for your man's permission. You just buy the dress that you want because you look good and you feel good, and it's your own money. And the most important thing is, if your man starts texting, you think he's like starting to act differently. You might think he's talking to some other girls, or he's acting up and he's always being angry and shouting at you. Well, guess what? You can always walk away if he's not matching your standard or he's not respecting you, because you have money and you can walk away. So that is really the most important thing about being financially independent and being self-sufficient, is because you are independent enough to have the highest quality experiences, to have the highest quality people around you, because you're not relying on anyone and you're not dependent on anyone's money. And so if you want to be financially independent, you need to learn high income skills that are gonna pay you well. Just being a waitress, or like trading your time for money, whether you're in a marketing job or you're doing a simple admin job, might not be enough. In this day and age, you have to learn very high income skills that are gonna pay you super well, because then you can really live and demand for the true dream life, and you can give yourself that dream life rather than wait for a super rich man to give you that expensive life. You need to figure out how to make a lot of money so you can give that life for you. And so a few tips on how to make a ton of money in this time and age is learning high income skills like sales, like marketing, like investing, learning skills like investing to make passive income for yourself, so that once you are generating that money, you have money working for you. You're not trading your time for money. It's great in the beginning to make a lot of cash, but then when you're sick or if you can't show up, there's no money coming in. And so a way to fight against that and to make yourself have a foolproof, strong support system that even when you're going on holiday, money's coming into you, is learning how to invest in assets. Assets is stocks, it's real estate, it's starting a business, anything that will generate you money without you being physically there. And if you want to learn those high income skills, to learn how to invest, to make passive income, click the link in the description below where I provide a free training on how you can get started to invest today so you can make passive income in less than 8 weeks. Step number 7 in being a high value woman is your body language, your behavior, and your poise. When you think about a high value woman, she's elegant. She controls her behavior. She's calm, she's elegant. And so if you want to instantly show up and have that first unforgettable impression to leave on other people, you need to work on the words that you use on a day-to-day. Do you swear all the time? Do you use a bunch of filler words? So I went to this coffee shop today and like this person completely upset me. And so a lot of times we don't realize it's such a subconscious thing, and it's something that you can really work on. And people realize the value that you provide when you have such a charismatic communication. When you're clear in your communication, When you're calm, you talk slow. So that is all about poise. It's about working on things that you're not born with. Talking is such a powerful transmission of energy. And if you take the time to be self-aware in how you talk, how you present yourself, you will instantly become so magnetic. So it's how you talk, the words you use, your tone, being sure, talking softly, elegantly. Also, your body language. Are you always slouching when you're talking? Having really good posture is super important when it comes to being a high value woman. When you're walking, you walk slow. It's all about being confident and being in control. So poise is super important. Always smiling is also a big thing, being a high value woman. When you're genuinely happy and you're talking to people and you're smiling and you're looking people in the eye, having very clear eye contact when you're talking to people, and having controlled hand gestures when you talk, having your shoulders back, your chin up. These are all little and subtle things that make you become the full package when you're talking to people, when you're at a party, when you're in networking events. You don't even need to say anything about yourself, and people will already place you in such a high pedestal and in such a high demeanor, how do I say this word? They put you in such a high regard because they don't even know that you put in the effort to work on presenting yourself in the best way. So having that poise, having that elegance is something that you're not born with. No one is born with. You just need to learn to work on it by yourself. And if you don't know how to work on it, try setting up a camera, take out your iPhone, film yourself talk for 1 minute, and see how you are when you're not watching yourself. Do you like the way that you talk? Do you like the way that you stand, that you sit, your tone, your words? That's the first step into becoming elegant, is controlling the way you talk and the way your body language is. Step number 8 is being feminine. Now, being feminine is something that we inherently all have because we're women, but I feel like this is quite an important topic because being a high value woman, being desired by high value men and having women look up to you is inherently being in touch with your feminine energy. Some women it comes more naturally to, but others it might not be. I inherently always have been a little bit more masculine, but I worked on being more feminine. Being feminine is learning to just receiving compliments, receiving gifts from guys, receiving, like, if a guy opens the door for you or he gives you gifts or he gives you compliments, is learning just to receive and often the need to constantly give to other people. Being feminine is being present. It's just being comfortable in your surroundings, not always being on your phone, being on your mind, overthinking. It's being present, being comfortable in your energy. It's trusting your intuition. And that's something that's like probably the most important thing about being feminine is learning to trust yourself and your intuition. And in order to even know and trust your intuition, you need to feel your body. And that's what meditation is, why meditation is so important, is because meditation is staying still, being present in the moment. Stop thinking for a second and just feel your body in the present moment. And when you know how to be in your body, that's how you know how to trust your intuition. When there is a situation comes your way, if there's a guy that's being around you and you feel yourself, you're starting to be anxious. You notice, why are my shoulders being so tense? Why am I not relaxed? Is this guy who he says he is? Is he actually a good guy? So like trusting your intuition is something that is so powerful, and that is a really important step to being in your feminine energy. And finally, step number 9 is self-care. And it's not exactly what you think I'll be saying. You might think self-care is putting on a mask at night and going to the gym and waking up early and like taking nice bubble baths and resting. Of course, that is super important in giving yourself self-love, but what's even more important in giving yourself self-love is learning when to say no, setting boundaries, being sexually selective with who you choose to be your partner. These are actually the real things in giving yourself self-love, because so many women are people pleasers. They let men walk all over them. The moment men take them out for a dinner, women feel kind of deep down guilty and obliged to kind of sleep with the guys because, oh yeah, the guy spent $100 on my dinner and I feel like he wants to have sex, so I'm just gonna have sex with him. You barely know the guy and he hasn't proven himself enough to be the man for you. You need to ask yourself the question, like, forget to ask yourself, does he like me? Ask yourself, do you like him? Do you know him enough to actually share a very sacred part of you? Being sexually selective is probably, it's such an underrated thing that people don't talk about. And that is something that is really what is a high value woman. Because you can be super pretty, you can have like a really nice body, everyone wants to be with you, but if you're sleeping with every single guy, you're no longer a high value woman. Remember what I said in the past, being a high value woman is meaning that not everyone can get you. Think of it this way. Let's revert it to what is a high value man. If you meet a guy who is super good looking, he's super successful, he dresses nice, he has great personality, he's a gentleman, he has it all, right? But he sleeps with every single woman. You hear like rumors that he slept with your roommate or he slept with this girl in your university or in your job. He's not high value, because high value is just simply means that it's a scarce resource that not everyone can get. So being sexually selective and not letting every man touch you or be available to your time and your energy and your space is what's going to be high value. And I think this is something that I really had to talk about, because it's something that no one really talks about. And I think especially now, especially in modern times where hookup culture is such a thing that is such an accepted thing. Women just easily just sleep with guys on just the first or second date. You need to become self-aware and really have high standards for yourself. And when you work on yourself, you need to, be highly selective with who you sleep with, because sex is a energy exchange. Sex literally stands for sacred energy exchange. The moment you sleep with a guy, you can literally absorb all of his energy. If he actually deep down is really insecure or he has a really high ego, he sleeps with a bunch of low vibrational women, all those traumas and those insecurities is gonna be passed on to you. You don't want that, right? Think about it like a phone case. When are you gonna just charge your phone? Are you gonna plug a USB stick on your computer wherever you go? No, because you don't know if that USB stick has viruses. It has something that's gonna mess up your system. So the same goes into having sex with someone. And so that's self-care, right? Self-care, I went into a rant, but to go all the way and circle back, step number 9 in being a high-value woman is self-love. Self-love in knowing yourself, knowing your standards, setting boundaries, saying no to low-quality experiences, low-vibrational people, is knowing to say no to like friends that just say, hey, like, let's party on a Wednesday night. And you're like saying no because you have important things that you need to do tomorrow. You have your project, even if it's not your job, but you have something that you're super passionate about and you have these goals that you want to go towards. You're going to say no to instant gratification, into temporary pleasures, into a girl that your friends that say, let's get drunk tonight. No, I'm going to say no tonight. I really appreciate it. But tomorrow I have to wake up early because I really want to work on my painting, or I have a really important project that I committed myself to. And that is the ultimate value of the ultimate definition of self-love, is when you know how to say no and you know how to set boundaries. And those are the 9 steps to being a high-value woman. I know it's a lot of steps and it's not something that can happen overnight. It's a lifelong project. You are a lifelong project. If you can step into the highest version of yourself, who's going to do it for you? you only have this one life and you got to make the most of it. You got to be proud of yourself. At your deathbed, when you look back at your life, you got to love every aspect of yourself. You have to show up as the woman of your dreams. If you want all these things in your life, you want amazing experiences to travel the world, you want the dream man, you want this, you want that, you want that, it all starts with you. It starts with working meticulously on yourself. It's working on your energy, on yourself, calling back the energy to yourself and stop comparing yourself to other people and work on you because you're the biggest project. So if there's any specific topics that I've talked about in these 9 steps that you want an individual video on, please drop in the comments because I would be more than happy to make a whole video on one of these steps because I feel like each step alone doesn't do justice. I've already ranted too much, but I feel like I would even spend a whole hour even talking about each individual step. So if there's something specific that you want to know, learn more about, drop it in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm already so proud of you that you've made it this far and you're really taking the time to learn how to become the best version of yourself and be the high value woman. And I'm so excited to hear your progress and see where you go. And until then, thank you so much. I love you.